Hi, this is David Swanson at Democrats.com and AfterDowningstreet.org. And as you may recall, a year and a half ago, November 2006, we elected a Congress that everyone agreed was elected to get us out of Iraq. And this Congress has funded this occupation while claiming to oppose it and is now preparing to spend another $178 billion, give or take, on this occupation. The current Congress has perhaps funded more slaughter than any previous Congress, has funded already the deaths of over 1,200 U.S. servicemen and women in combat, and no doubt hundreds of thousands of innocent Iraqis, and will certainly have funded beyond the 2,000 U.S. combat deaths point by the time this money is passed and spent. Iraq has become a nightmare. 4 to 5 million refugees, 1.5 million people dead, millions injured, tens of millions traumatized. Yes, tens of millions in a nation that to begin with held 27 million people. So what I recommend to you, and I cannot recommend this more strongly, now, this minute, before you do another thing, call your representative in the House of Representatives in Washington, D.C. Call your Congress member. The switchboard number is 202-224-3121. Tell them where you live. They will connect you to your representative. And tell them this: you have no choice but to vote no on this money to extend the occupation of Iraq. You will not have a minute's peace for the rest of your life if you vote for this money. Are you afraid to annoy your party's leaders? There are thousands of us in this country who have devoted millions of hours, who have gone without sleep, who have fasted, who have gone to jail, who have lost friends and jobs and houses and spouses trying to save lives. And you are afraid of the discomfort of annoying your party's leader? Are you a representative or a follower of a leader? Are you afraid of being attacked by the media? Wake up! There is one thing and one thing only less popular than the United States Congress, and that is our corporate media. No Congress member has ever raised more money with an email than with the one that begins, "I was just attacked by Fox News." Know who your enemies should be and stop being afraid to have them, because you are going to have bigger ones and you are not going to be able to handle us. This is a clean vote. You've rigged it this way. Your leaders have rigged it this way. You will be voting simply up or down on this money. No relief for Katrina victims in there. Nothing good in there. That's a separate vote. You will simply be voting yes or no on the money, and we will be watching and we will be recording what that vote is, and you will have no excuses. There's not even a surge to use as an excuse anymore. And had the surge worked, the White House would be demanding more money. Since the surge has failed, the White House is demanding more money. Do you understand how you are being laughed at? You are being laughed at by the Bush administration, by Dick Cheney, by George Bush, and by John McCain. They are laughing at you. And we will all be publicly humiliating you if you vote for this money. And not just today, and not just this month, and not just this decade. This is our grandchildren's money. This is the money that yet unborn Americans will have to earn and pay back with interest. I don't know whatever became of the sacred right of fetuses, but these are people who have yet to be born, who will have to work to earn this money and pay it back with enormous interest. You're destroying our economy. And with no sense of irony, you're trying to attach unemployment insurance in a separate vote that won't begin to undo the damage. We wouldn't need that unemployment insurance were you not driving our economy into the ground with your slaughter of human beings. And then say this to your Congress member. Do you oppose me now? Are you angry at me now? I certainly hope so. Because I could use the kind of money that you throw at things you oppose. You claim to oppose the occupation of Iraq, and you throw $178 billion at it. Throw some of that at me. I could use it. If you vote for this, I promise to work non-stop to shame you, to haunt you with the blood of your victims. You know, here in Charlottesville, Virginia, a young man once went to the university by the name of Edgar Allan Poe. I think he was thrown out for gambling, something like what we're about to do to you if you gamble on this war. And Edgar Allan Poe wrote something called The Telltale Heart. And I want to read to you a bit that comes near the end of that tale. No doubt, I now grew very pale, but I talked more fluently and with a heightened voice. Yet the sound increased. And what could I do? It was a low, dull, quick sound. Much such a sound as a watch makes when enveloped in cotton. I gasped for breath, and yet the officers heard it not. I talked more quickly, more vehemently, but the noise steadily increased. I arose and argued about trifles, in a high key and with violent gesticulations, but the noise steadily increased. Why would they not be gone? I paced the floor to and fro with heavy strides, as if excited to fury by the observations of the men, but the noise steadily increased. Oh God, what could I do? I foamed, I raved, I swore, I swung the chair upon which I had been sitting and grated it upon the boards, but the noise arose over all and continually increased. It grew louder, 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 and still the men chatted pleasantly and smiled. Was it possible they heard not? Almighty God, no! No, they heard. They suspected. They knew. They were making a mockery of my horror. This I thought, and this I think. But anything was better than this agony. Anything was more tolerable than this derision. I could bear those hypocritical smiles no longer. I felt that I must scream or die. And now again, hark, louder, louder, louder. We will be your telltale heart.
Then why act like you care about the troops in Iraq? Cause if you did, you would let them fly back. It's cause of you them planes got hijacked. You also the reason Katrina victims had to die like that. They say you was hesitant, we say you was negligent. It's about time for niggas to impeach the president. Hey. Yeah. Dear President.